In this video in our Ignite course, we're going to tackle the question, how do you and your counterpart come across as a cohesive team on the first call? This is a tricky son of a bitch for us founders. We really struggle moving from I to we. And it's because we've been on this big journey of being alone. And in some cases, being alone has been completely beneficial. That has to change. I have fucked this up more times than I can count. I'm actually quite sure 2 of my partnerships out of the 40 that I signed could have been as successful as my one as EY if I learned how to master this with senior leaders as well as VPs. So, how do we come across as a cohesive team? Is it a lot of practice? Is it a lot of referral? Not really. It isn't. The best way that you can nail coming across as your team that's one that believes in the same thing is to simplify your messaging and to practice noticing things. So, simplifying messaging is what we're really going to cover today. Noticing just means being aware that the 2 of you are in the same strategic dialogue as the customer, not the founder by themselves, which is usually the case. So when we're talking to a prospect or customer doing our co-sell with our joint offer, how do we move from I to we? The first way to move from I to we starts right at the top of the partnership soul, which is really simple. We start with our vision. This is our vision. It's no longer my vision or my company's vision. It is our vision. We're not going to put any other words on the table other than that. We're not going to talk about each other's visions. We're just going to talk about ours. It is a huge frame for a partner that's watching to really see that come out. And if their prospects look at you, they'll go, what is going on here? Who have I met? Who are these people? And how can I be a part of them? After we hit our vision, we continue to establish the partnership soul in front of the customer. And we say, this is what we value. Notice I said what we value. It's really important with your counterpart that we look for what we value. It is the absolute indicator of whether or not you should work with a customer or not, because they will self-select out based off what you value. After this, the next thing you should jump to is what we see happening in the market. And this is a great part for you and your counterpart to sit back and go, hey, this is our vision. This is what we value. This is where we see the market going. And this is what we see happening as we enact our vision. All of a sudden, 2 players with no history are in the same colors with the same slogan, going after the same championship. That's when we shift gears. We don't really need to keep presenting along that frame. It's provided now a safe frame of what you and your partner are doing. And you're starting to realize, well, that sounds really strategic. Yes, that's what we're teaching you. And that's why it doesn't work with reselling models. It's just not sticky enough. You're not cohesive enough. There's not enough on the line. Now we've just put everything on the line. We've put the truth on the line. Do we really believe in what we're doing? Does our partner, do the people we're listening to really think we're going to hit it with gusto? Well, it all comes down to really if you believe it and moving from I to we. So as the conversation shifts, it's also important to shift your dialogue. As your prospect or customer starts speaking, it's really important for you as the founder to start saying things like, tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. That type of connecting word and question already puts you into the same co-learning dialogue. So you and your counterpart are asking the prospect, can you please tell us more about where you're at? This isn't a, I'm the smartest person in the room, or I'm more technical, or I'm more visionary, or I'm better at sales. It's just tell us more. A very powerful sentence that can further reinforce that you're in partnership with your counterpart to the prospect. The next thing you can do as a CEO and founder is also, before the call is up, you can ask the client right in front, you can ask your counterpart right in front of the client, did we miss anything, Jamie? In other words, did we miss anything? You asking your counterpart right in front of the prospect. That type of open, transparent dialogue reinforces team members being vulnerable with each other, and they're not really caring what the prospect thinks. Their team, their partnership is more important than the person on the call, and it'll drag them in. Last but not least, a great question to ask your counterpart is, did we miss anything? Being a visionary, you can always overtalk. It's a fantastic handbrake that recognizes your role and your counterpart's role and how to work together. Now, this can work just the same when you're engaging internal teams. For example, a great way to start when you meet a new team member, whether it's on your team or their team and you're with your counterpart, it's how we met. What drew them to you? How do we feel now and where are we heading? If you start the call with those four things and allowing yourself to take a component of each, you will fundamentally make your team member feel safe with your potential partner and get the counterpart's team member excited. You have just uplifted your counterpart's confidence. You've really lent in a leader. You've showed them your heart, but you've also shown them the detail and the intimacy of your partnership. Those two sessions is what you need to rehearse as a founder. You don't need to rehearse copious amount of decks, copious amount of sequences. You just need to rehearse the why and how you feel, and reminder at all times you're not the only one learning in the dialogue. That is how you move from I to we. All else fails, inject a we wherever you can, and it will come across more seamlessly than it feels when it comes out of your mouth. I dare you to do it. It took me a long time to get it right. It probably took me about 4.5 years fucking that shit up. Now, when we've done it, one of the tricky things is you've run the first session. Who follows up? Great question. Whoever has generated the opportunity should follow up, but at a really, really simple level, one of the things that's a really nice touch, and it might feel sort of awkward, it even sort of feels like a school assignment, is no matter who sends the email and your partner is CC'd, I always say, cheers, Tom and partner. So cheers, Tom and Jamie. When in doubt, double name it out in an email. It sort of feels awkward, but it reads extremely well, and it makes the person feel like their conversation and prospect is actually happening with the partnership energy and not just you. And fundamentally, people won't be forgotten. And I think that is one of the simplest ways to make sure you land your first call and you land the follow-up. When in doubt, double name it out. And remember, we is always greater than I, no matter how awkward it feels when you first start doing it.